we bring in a friend who we've known for years and years and years. He's an author, relationship therapist, Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson.
Some expert advice on how we can all talk to them. Joining us now is relationship expert Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson. She's the author of Courageous Conversations Connect. Good morning, R.G.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Janelle. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And as we mentioned, a lot of people just dealing with anxiety during all of this. What are your suggestions?
Some of the things that we need to remember is that this is temporary. This is temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. And as long as we stay healthy, Janelle, then everything else is recoverable.
Talk to your children about what's happening right now. What are the best ways to do that?
There's some do's and don'ts, right? So you want to tell them that you're going to be here. We're going to be okay. Kids want to know that they're secure and they're safe. So predictability, structure, and consistency. You also want to let them know you have a plan. And even if you don't have a plan, tell them that you're working on one.
Good morning, everyone. Good Friday morning. It's April 24th, 2020. Oh my goodness, where does the time go? Well, listen, I'm Dr. RG, and this is the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we're having our quarantine talks every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. And I'm just happy to be here. How about you guys? I'm happy to see you. Thanks for joining the show. I see Ruth Ann is on already, and Gloria, and China, and Lee. Thank you for joining, and Karen as well. And hopefully Allie is on our IG family. Listen, tell everybody to do their watch parties, going over to the YouTube page, if you will. Subscribe and set your notifications. Send me some thumbs up, some likes, and some smiley faces, because that helps with the algorithm. So share this that we're on now. We're having our quarantine talks in our Courageous Conversations Connect space. And we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we're going to come right back. So stay with us. Pretty good. So we are back and welcome again to the Quarantine Talks, where we have our Courageous Conversations Connect space. We started this journey, guys, 5 weeks ago. I can't believe that this is Friday and this is the end of our 5th week that we've been doing this. It's pretty amazing. And I am loving every bit of it. You all give me joy. You give me life. You give me energy. I hope that it's reciprocal. I hope that I'm giving you that same energy as well. And we said we might as well do this if we're here together. We are not stuck in the house. We are safe in the house. It's a good reframe for all my clinicians out there that are talking to their clients. And so I just thank you guys for joining us. Make sure that you do your watch parties. Make sure you share. Make sure that if you're on IG and you want to see the commercials and the sponsors, then you go on over to either the Facebook page, Ask Dr. RG, AskDrArgie, or the YouTube page. And even if after this is over, if you can, let your friends know to subscribe to our YouTube page, Ask Dr. RG. That would be amazing. We're putting a lot of content on that page. We're going to be doing, we're getting very innovative these days, right? It's not like it's because we have so much time on our hands, because we've been working really hard over here. Mm-hmm. But I think that what's happened is that this whole reset has caused us to be very creative and sort of stimulate our creative juices. So that's been working really well. Let's see who else is on. Karen, who's
Freedom Productions, I guess.
Tom and Freedom. Good morning, Tom and Freedom.
Got Marcy, 9446.
Hey, Marcy. Hey, Marcy.
We got somebody named
Kyle Tabasco.
Hi, Kyle. Good morning. Good morning.
Tabasco, I don't know who that is. Okay.
Tabasco. Okay.
I don't know who else.
That's
there.
Crystal, I think. Crystal. Hey, Crystal. If
Yeah,
Tabasco is Crystal.
Okay, got it. Dominique.
Dominique, good morning, Dominique. We missed you yesterday.
Somebody named Anger, Dr. Tyra.
Okay, Dr. Tyra, what was it say?
Yeah. All right, so got some IG love.
Good morning, IG family. We love you over there, and thank you for joining us. We don't take it lightly that you all take your time out on any weekday morning at 10 o'clock and set your notifications to this time period. Who is here? Billy Joe. Good morning, Billy Joe. Good morning, Nicole. She's on. Gail, Dr. Gail Logan is on. Good morning. She said she's not able to stay because she had a session. Understandable. So anybody that can't stay, then if you can see this a little bit later on. And Deborah's on. Hey, Deborah, how's the weather in Florida? My friend from Florida. Well, she's from Philly, but she's living in Florida as a snowbird. Missed y'all yesterday. Dominique said she missed you. We missed you too, Dominique. All right. So listen. When we think about, and Sylvia's on. Good morning, Sylvia. Nicole missed yesterday too, but she's here. Took me a while to get centered. So yeah, it does take us a while to get centered. So we are doing a little bit of a recap, right, today with regards to our reset. I feel like this was a really, really good week, the 5th week in, after we've traversed through a whole month, quite frankly, of quarantine. I really wanted us to think about what it felt like or feels like to reset, to think about where we've been and where we are and perhaps where we're going. We can't control where we're going, but we can control the right here, right now, the mindfulness of it, and then evaluate. So yesterday and all week, we've been talking about self-inventory, taking a self-inventory, evaluating what is it that we're doing well, what is it that we're not doing so well, what is it that we do have, what is it that we don't have, and how do we reset our mindsets, right? Our mindset, our focus, our intentions for positive affirmation and positive thoughts, and our energy, right? And then today, as we move into the conversation, we're going to also talk about sort of our goals, right? If we have these dreams without goals are just dreams, quite frankly. And then if we don't have action steps to execute on those goals, then for many of us, they never come to fruition. And to me, that would be the saddest thing, to have been put on this purposeful pause, as my friend Diata says, and not have it work for us, especially if we're not sick. If you get sick and there's something, you're not well, or someone that you love is sick and in the hospital, you have to divert your attention to that. I absolutely get it. But if you're not, if you're fortunate enough to do the necessary things to stay healthy, right? Build your immune system up mentally and physically and emotionally and spiritually and relationally. If you can do all those things, then the best is yet to come. This too shall pass. And we can do it in a way, have this experience, this quarantine, the safe space where we're actually called to be still for a moment, to then make ourselves better, to create the mental and physical wellness that we really should have been experiencing prior to the quarantine talks, but probably didn't, and we got really, really busy. And so we want to take a moment to breathe. That's what we normally do in the very beginning of these quarantine talks. I want you all to share in the text chat who you're breathing for. Is it the essential workers? For me, I'm going to breathe for our first family, Pastor Waller and Sister Waller and Erica and Morgan and Pastor Corey. I know that they're in a different house, and little Corey, but they're all apart. I will. Give me a chance. I know that they're in a different household. And Corey and my soror Morgan and her baby Corey. But just for those of you who are out of town, or you may not know, our pastor was diagnosed with COVID-19 yesterday. Actually, he did the test on Monday when they were doing the free testing at our church, just as a model for everyone to say, this is something that we all need to do. And when he got the results back, the results were positive. So the wonderful thing about this for right now, when we got the word yesterday, he has no symptoms. We're praying, and I'm asking for your continued prayers that you pray that he will continue to not get any symptoms, that he will continue to stay asymptomatic. I'm sure that right now, Erica and Sister Waller will be tested, probably have already been tested because they're in the same household. And we're praying that they will be negative and that there will be a healing over them. Because that our first family, because he truly has been a leader through this and a leader since the beginning stages of him being in Philadelphia, which was well over 20 years ago. He's been a change agent. He's been an innovative leader. He's been our spiritual advisor. And even in the midst of this crisis, he's done a phenomenal job of leading the charge, doing everything, wearing the mask and cleaning the church and keeping the social distance and having church service with only the necessary essential people there, 6 feet apart. And so we may not know how he contracted this. I do know that they were out there, doing the testing on Monday. But the bottom line is that at this point, we just need to pray. So that's what I'm breathing in for our first family, in addition to all the essential workers that are still out there putting their lives, IG family, Facebook, YouTube, putting their lives on the line for us. So if you all could put in the text chat, who is it that you're breathing for? Breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide, but also breathing in peace and joy and serenity and contentment, and breathing out any worry, any pain, any frustration, any sadness, any disappointment. Gloria says, breathing for my family who has so far been blessed and safe, right? And Karen, awesome, Gloria. And Karen says, Omija, praying for them. Great. Teresa's on. Good morning, Teresa. Deborah says, continuing prayers for Reverend Waller and all members who might be possibly infected. Tom says, my friends, he's praying for his friends and his family. Anybody on IG that's lists who they're praying for? Who they're breathing for? Breathing and praying. Okay. So guys, what I'd like for you to do is get in your posture. Middle finger and your thumb together in a very relaxed position, or you can put your hands like this on your lap or to your side. IG family, Facebook, YouTube family, continue to share this if you will. Give me thumbs up and smiley faces and hearts. That helps with the algorithms. Share. That would be awesome. Karen says, praying for family, friends, and neighbors, self, and my son. And Tom says, also, you guys, thank you for cathartic affirmations. Awesome. And Nicole says, breathing for Dr. Arjean Morgan for keeping us meaningfully engaged in these moments. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Nice. Nicole with a K. I love the way that she spells her name. Thank you. I appreciate it. As long as we have our breath in our bodies and that we're healthy, we're going to continue to do this because we are exchanging positive energy. You all give us energy and we pray that we give you energy. All right. So you all know the drill. I'm going to I have postnasal drip and I try to drink water so it doesn't sound so bad. I'm going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to breathe in through the nose. At the sound of my voice, when I count to 3, we're going to make it a long breath. We're going to try to hold it because that actually builds capacity in your lungs. And it's an exercise that can help you as far as your immune system, quite frankly, when you, if you should get ill, that you need to have that lung capacity. So we'll hold it for 10 seconds and then we'll breathe out through our mouth. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And breathe out. Feel the sensation in your body and that oxygen going in. Breathe in. And breathe out. Excellent. Good job. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in through the nose. And out. Last time, make it count, guys. Breathe in through the nose, big breath. And out. Ooh. Did y'all feel that? Feel that breath? Feel the oxygen going in? Feel all of the good stuff going in? Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing in that breath journey. I want all of us to do that periodically. Do not take your breath for granted. Do not take for granted that you have the ability to breathe in oxygen and fill your lungs and fill your organs, allowing the blood to flow from the heart to the major organs to the brain, the ability to speak. If anything, this opportunity that we've been given should teach us to be grateful and thankful and appreciative of the things that we probably have taken for granted in the past, right? Our breath in our body, the air in our lungs, the ability to wake up, the ability to speak, the ability to actually have movement in our limbs, the ability to hear. Many people are not so blessed in all of that, right? So this is an opportunity for us to double down on the gratitude and the thankfulness, as somebody put, thankful, F-U-L-L, thankfulness to be able to utilize all of those assets, if you will. Karen says, I started doing those breathing exercises at night to help me sleep better. It actually works. I do it for 4 and hold 4 and then out 6. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think that that's great information for those people who might have difficulty shutting it down. I've recently started really doubling down on my meditation at night, which helps me. And I try to have good sleep hygiene as well. Morgan doesn't like that term, but I think it's appropriate. Good sleep hygiene means not being in the bed with your gadgets, turning the TV off, doing some meditation or soft music, setting the atmosphere for good rest and sleep. That's what that means. And when you do that, you wake up feeling more restful. yourharvardattorney.com. Don't know what your real name is, but thank you for joining. It says, thank you, Dr. RG. From the Barristers. Okay. Thank you, Dr. RG. That breathing exercise was awesome. I prayed for my niece who is resisting social distancing. Okay, we're going to pray for your niece too, because there's probably a lot of people out there, both millennials, young people, and perhaps seniors that are resisting the social distancing, and they're putting everyone and themselves in harm's way. So we need to kind of keep them prayed up, and then we need to find strategies, which I think next week we're going to talk a little bit more about the strategies going into week 6 to help us to be safe. So I'm going to be working on that over the weekend. Gail, she's on. Dr. Gail says, Dr. RG, as you mentioned in your book, our roles may change. Many people are facing the reality of adjusting to changes in roles because of the loss of primary and significant family members, financial stability due to joblessness, and other changes in the aspired goals, such as education. I hope people who are struggling with those experiences reach out to the community resources and the helping professionals. I absolutely agree. And what Gail is referring to is that there is a whole section in my book that is related to changes and transitions. And we specifically talk about those transitions of new jobs, life transitions, loss of relationships. We talk about loss of people. It's called in chapter 3, Staying Healthy in the Midst of Transitions and Courageous Conversations Connect. And in those changes, it's always interesting to me now that we're going through all of this, that this book is so apropos. I have many of my clients reading weeks, but they're advancing it. So they're not doing just 1 week. If they have time, they're doing 2 or 3 weeks at a time, because it's so appropriate at this particular time. Dominique says, sleep hygiene. Did I go far enough back there? Yeah, but you can see it for easy. I can't. Yeah. Gloria, I got it. Okay. Gloria says, thank you. I'm able to release the pain I went to bed with last night. Awesome. Awesome, Gloria. It is about a release. Dominique says sleep hygiene is an actual thing.
Okay. I mean, I didn't deny it was a thing. I just
Thank you,
told
Dominique.
I have bad sleep hygiene. I have maybe bad sleep habits.
Thank
but
you.
not hygiene.
Thank you, Dominique. Sleep hygiene, nutrition. No, you know what Morgan is thinking? Morgan is thinking that when we say sleep hygiene, that people think that, oh, he's going to be at bed not smelling very well or what have you. He's probably one of the cleanest people I know in terms of that is concerned. But hygiene means so many other things. So thank you, Dominique, for validating that it is an actual thing. And many of us need to pay attention to it. I didn't always. And then I would wonder why I was waking up so tired when I thought I had slept all night, but because I wasn't practicing good sleep hygiene. And that Dominique said is so important. Jessica, hey, my bonus daughter's on. Hey, Jess. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jace, our grandbaby. I haven't seen him. I just can't wait to hold him and kiss him and hug on him. I'm just so remiss that I'm not able to do that. But I also have to honor the social distancing guidelines to keep ourselves safe and to keep the people that we love safe. So Jace is over a month old now, right? Because on the 18th of April, he was actually a month old. And we do get to see pictures. We do FaceTime, and he's growing. So thank you, bonus daughter, for joining. We love you. Anybody else, babe? Okay. How? You know how that is, she says. She says, we miss you guys. Yes, we do know how your father is. Yeah, he's a card. He's a card. Yes, get back to the show. Get back to the show. So today, now that we've shared what we've, and if you throughout this show, if you have people that you really want to pray for and breathe for, please put those in the text chat. And if there's something that you are struggling with regards to this reset, I do want you all to put that in the text chat and ask some questions. Perhaps myself or someone else that is on the broadcast can answer that. And we are going to take a quick break for our sponsors. I hope that you all would stay in, hang in, and I'll see you on the other side.
Growing a business can be overwhelming. However, it doesn't have to be difficult. With the right resources, task becomes easier and the rewards are great. EasyMake Systems makes online marketing and business management less confusing and more affordable. We've placed all the necessary components to make your job easier. Our EasyMake website builder gives you the ability to create stunning websites or landing pages. Utilize our EasyMake Social to stay current with social media and our EasyMake Mail to drive more engagement through emails. How about creating 24/7 customer service with our EasyMake bots to be there whenever your customer needs to reach you? And more importantly, you can access all of our software on an easy-to-use dashboard that gives easy access from one location. EasyMake Systems is your single source solution.
Anyway, we're back.
We're back. Good morning. I am so sorry. I really do apologize. I have allergies, and I don't know who else is struggling with allergies out there, but there's a lot of postnasal drip. So Morgan says it sounds so horrible when I try to clear my throat. So I try not to do that when I'm on air, but it's very, very hard. Shelly, my cousin Shelly's on. Good morning, cousin Shelly. How are you and my beautiful nephew, Langston? How are you guys faring? Thank you for joining. This is the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we are having our quarantine talks. We do this every morning, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. We started this journey about 5 weeks ago now. And we were thinking about what could we do since we were in the house. I continue to do therapy and coaching online every day. I start at 12 o'clock. So that's why we start this a little bit early in the morning. And I usually go until sometimes 9 o'clock in the evening. If people are interested, or if people, somebody that's looking to process their anxiety or their depression or their fear, or maybe they're having challenges with their family because they've got a senior person that's sick or someone who's resisting the social distancing, give us a call. Maybe we can help you, or maybe we can refer you out if we can't. But the number is 215-789-6999. You all can reach me that way, or you can so certainly reach me through the website, drrgconnects.com. So We are specifically talking today about the recap, right? I want you all to tell me what this week you've thought about with regards to reset. Monday, we talked about resetting our mindset. Was there anything that you experienced with regards to a breakthrough? Was there anything that you realized that you had not shifted on, that you were resistive about, and that you kind of reframed your thinking around? There's a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, that have been saying, okay, I did this for 4 weeks. I only thought that I was going to be able to do this for 2 weeks, but I did it for 4 weeks. And now you want me to do it for more? Like, I'm over this. I want to get out. I want to, get back to my normal life. I want to go back to work. I want to engage with people. I want to be done with the social distancing. I'm just over it. And so the problem with that kind of thinking is that thinking can get you hurt. It can get you killed. It can get somebody else hurt or harmed or sick, quite frankly. And so we've got to really reframe our thought process and then use this opportunity for the beauty that isn't meant to be. Really, the whole country has been put on a hold, really put on a timeout. Like, go sit down somewhere, as my niece Nicole said yesterday, take several seats, recalibrate, breathe, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with the people that you live with, right? Take this as an opportunity to double down on this self-exploration process and self-inventory of who you are, whose you are, what it is that you're meant to be, and come out on the other side changed, better, not bitter. That's the resetting of the mindset. And then the whole refocusing, we'll recap on that as well. So tell me if you've had struggle with resetting your mindset or refocusing your intention or your ideas about where you're going. What about your intentions and your energy level? I want to hear about all of that. Nicole says, I've come to an understanding that summer will be on my deck and at my pool. Thank goodness you have a deck and pool. No vineyard for us. We are still. I appreciate that, Nicole. Yes. I mean, that's the reframing. I thank you for sharing that, Nicole, because that is the reframing. That is the resetting of our mindset.
That's Mama Stokes on IG.
Oh.
I think if you look at her name, she said, I think that's Nicole Kimberly Signor Skoko.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And so Nicole reminds us, or Mama Scopes reminds us, that we can still have a beautiful summer. We can still enjoy all of the things that are intended for us to enjoy. It just has to look different, right? So this temporary inconvenience is for long-term gain. So maybe it's no Martha's Vineyard. No Martha's Vineyard for us either, Nicole. However, I'm looking forward to, and we were talking about this yesterday with my cousin April, and there was somebody else that was gardening, and IG family and Facebook family and YouTube family. And what I'm looking forward to is gardening. It's been about 5 years since I've actually worked in my garden. So I'm looking forward to creating and sitting on I love my front porch. I'm looking forward to Morgan doing some barbecuing in the yard. Huh? I'm looking forward to, enjoying us. I'm looking forward to sitting down and listening to the birds chirp and, all the wonderful, beautiful things that spring and summer has to offer when we're able to be still. But if we don't reset our mindset and if we're only focusing on getting out to the restaurants and the parks and those kinds of things, I'm very fearful that we will have a second wave of this sooner than later. And I'm very fearful that more people will be injured, more people will get sick, and more people will die. And it'll become closer and closer to home. And so let's do our due diligence right now. We have an opportunity to begin to think differently, because what we think is what we ultimately believe, which then has to do with what we do. Remember that. Your thoughts are paramount first. And then once you think a thing, then you begin to believe that thing. And once you believe it, then you begin to act it out. So if you begin to reframe your thought process, reset your mindset, that mindset then can shift in the atmosphere, not just for you, but for your family as well. And so that's really, really important. If we're struggling, if you guys are struggling with other things, I think that there are persons here that are living alone. That's a different kind of struggle. to be honest with you. I don't have that struggle right now, but I've thought about it because for most of you, you all know I lived at home alone for some, I don't know, 15, 20 years of my adult life. And so I'm prayerful and thankful that I don't have to do that now. However, there is something to be said for being able to be in one with yourself and then utilizing technology to stay connected, right? So that whole connection, we talk about our business is Connections Matter. Here at Faith Inc., it stands for Family and Individual Therapeutic Healing, right? Where we believe in healing families one relationship at a time. And Connections Matter, where we believe in transforming individuals, couples, and corporations one courageous conversation at a time. So that's the resetting of your mindset. That's the recap for that. We'll move into focus. Yes,
I
babe.
just wanted to show IG some love. People been put some comments up. First of all, Maul said she's been working from home, that she's good. And Credit Repair Boss 1 said, good morning. And don't fire Morgan.
Morgan gets
fired me. I'm the producer. Man. This ain't getting done without me. So
I can't fire my husband. Sometimes I want to, though.
Oh, geez.
I feel like I fire myself.
Y'all know I can't really say what I want to say.
Listen,
so
I fire myself. Y'all know I fire myself. I tell myself to go to the room. Go to your room, RG. Go ahead.
Allison's on, so say hello.
Good morning, Allison.
And somebody named Sweet Pea Kim.
Hey,
Hello,
Kim.
Sweet Pea Kim.
Good morning.
I don't know who that is.
Good morning.
She's on, so yeah, she said good morning. She said reframing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sweet Pea Kim, she says, I'm happy to hear about the reframing. I keep hearing people saying they are ready to get back, and I don't understand.
Yes. So when we think of it, is that it, babe?
That's it, yeah.
So when we think about this concept of I'm ready to get back, I do understand that. I mean, we're human beings. And quite frankly, we've never been down this path before. I don't think anybody, unless, like I said, you are 102 and you were here for the Spanish flu. No one has experienced a pandemic. We've been here. We've experienced some setbacks, 9/11, the stock market crash in 2008. We've experienced some things, but never a pandemic when the world was just shut down, right? And so what happens is we become accustomed to whatever our norm is. And even if it's dangerous for us, we want to get back to our old life. And it's not until we have time or take the time, quite frankly, to reset our mindset, and our clinicians call it reframe our thinking, that we begin to see the beauty in what we've been given. We begin to see this as a gift, not and a blessing, not a curse. And the gift of it is, when will you ever have again a time to be with your family, a time to get to know them, a time to get to know yourself? If we're going to be honest, we believe in truth, trust, and transparency leads to transformational breakthroughs. How many of y'all can be honest with the fact that you might live in the house with somebody that you don't really even know? It could even be your children, because we had moved to a community where everybody was on a hamster wheel. Everybody was running. Everyone was going, especially the parents. They're running from the soccer games to the baseball games to the dance games to, just everybody is running. And so now you get the opportunity to sit down. Even Governor Cuomo said that he realized that he didn't know his daughters, that they had whole complex lives with relationships that he had never had taken the time to sit down and talk to them about it, right? Talking is important. Engaging is important. Getting to understand, having the courageous conversations, quite frankly, with ourselves, to get to know ourselves. What do we want? Who we are? Who are we? What have we done? And where are we going? And are we living our full lives on purpose, full out, living it? Or have we been, prior to this, sitting on the sidelines watching everybody else live their lives? Well, now it's time for everybody to get in the game, but we've been given a purposeful pause to recalibrate, to reset, so that we can retool ourselves, reconnect with ourselves and the people that we love the most, so that we can move forward. I think that's a beautiful gift. Karen says, I was in Jamaica. Is that right? The right one, babe?
Yep.
I was in Jamaica for 2 days, and my head made curry goat with rice and peas. Oh, that sounds delicious. That sounds delicious. Oh my goodness. One of my very best friends, Candy, she's from Jamaica, and I long for the day to travel back to Jamaica with her. We were picking fruit off the tree, and I was eating all this good Jamaican food. And of course, they speak patois, and she was telling me not to speak because they knew that I wasn't from there. But that sounds delightful. And Karen says, I'm so glad that my son and I like each other, not just love each other. We laugh a lot in our house. Awesome. Awesome. You know, you all know that I always say that like is underrated, right? Because I work in the field of therapy, in the mental health field. And I find that a lot of people, like is underrated. Like is underrated. Yeah. So, you know, I work in the mental health field, and the reality of it is that I work with a lot of people who love each other, but they don't always like each other. And so that's why I say like is underrated, right? That we need to double down on figuring out not just the love. Love is an action word. Absolutely. We need to do things to share love. And by the way, for those of you who don't know your family or your own love language, that's important. How many of y'all know what love languages are? If you don't, that's a great book for you to get by Gary Chapman. The 5 love languages. They have it for couples. They have it for adults or individuals. They also have love languages for children. And then the like language, right? So think about whether you like the person, whether you like yourself, and what are the things that you do like about yourself. So the love languages, just so that if you don't know, are words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gift giving, and physical touch. Words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gift giving, and physical touch. Those are the love languages. And sometimes we're pouring out in the wrong way because we're not feeding the person's love language, or we're not receiving our love language. But then we need to think about the like language. What are the ways in which you like yourself and you like the other people? This is the exploratory process. And then I ask people, think about, what are you focusing on, right? That was the reset that we asked in the very beginning of the week. Where's your focus? Is your focus on the right places? Is your focus on only what you don't have, not what you do have? Because maybe you might not have enough funds, and that's very, very important. But if you have your strength, if you have your breath in your body, if you have a place to sleep, some people don't have a home to sleep in. They don't have food to eat. There's a whole bunch of things that we could focus our energy on. And that's a part of our reframing our mindset too. What are you focused on? Are you only focused on, I can't wait till I get out of here because I'm so cooped up in here and I'm stuck in here? Or are you focused on, thank goodness that I have a place that I can lay my head, that I'm safe here, and that I can find innovative ways to explore new things about myself and about other people. Karen says, awesome books. I read, and my son read the one for teenagers, the 5 love languages, right? Yeah, there's some great books that I enjoy. That this is Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. We will talk about this. This is Good Grief by Granger Westberg. This is really good if you're dealing with grief. Of course, y'all know that I'm going to talk about Courageous Conversations Connect. It's a pretty cool person that wrote this. Her name is Dr. R.G. Allen Wilson. And this, in the meantime, Finding Yourself and the Love You Want by Iyanla Vanzant. These are some of my faves, and a new fave, which I read, and it was awesome, Journey to Transformation by Bishop Sharma D. Lewis. So these are just a few. And of course, I don't have with me, it's in the office, but the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. Those are some of my faves.
So share with them, you're going to create a library on your website.
Yeah. Yes, we were just talking about that this morning. So for those of you, we are going to create a library on the website. We're going to be able to do some affiliation with other other books that you can purchase, my faves, if you will. And, we'll be talking about those books. And my hope is that we'll also be able to have some of those authors on the Quarantine Talks, and as we move forward, so that you can experience those persons as well. So we're looking forward to that. Another one of my faves that'll probably be on there is Who Moved My Cheese. I love that one. I don't know if you all know that, but the characters are Sniff and Scurry and Hem and Haw. And I have that. That's my staple. Right. I always go back to that when I'm feeling stuck, because I ask myself, do I want to be Sniff and Scurry? Do I want to be really thinking about what's my next move and how am I going to use this experience to grow? Or do I want to be Hem and Haw, just hemming and hawing and acting as if nothing's changing and being resistant to change? That's the thing that tends to cause us not to be able to move forward, quite frankly.
If they ask if they have any book recommendations or authors they'd like for us to be able to feature, DM us and let us know when the person will contact us.
Gotcha. So Morgan said to ask you guys if you have some books that you like that are your staples and you have specific authors, please DM us so that we can reach out to them. And if we feel like it's really incongruent with the messaging that we're trying to offer on this platform, then we'll also have them either as a guest or we'll put their books on our platform as well. Dominique says, is that right, babe? Yes, Dominique says, if I'm honest, this is the most relaxed I've been since I started medical school, even though I'm still working. I agree. And she said, who moved my cheese? She loves that one. I agree. And, you can still be working. And I think that reset or refocus is how you want to work. How do you really want to show up, guys? How do you want to work within the capacity that you have? And do you take breaks? I think that this has caused all of us to sort of reschedule how we do things. I know it's me. I have my morning time, my bedtime. I'm eating better. I'm hydrating better. I'm taking my breaks throughout the day. I'm doing my meditation, my prayer meditation and my scripture. I've leveled up on my spiritual elevation. And so those are things that I was running. And that lack of travel time, that's huge. Although I've never really traveled that far for work, usually maybe 20 to 30 minutes if that. But even the travel time can make a difference in terms of utilizing that time wisely. So thinking about what are you focused on and how are you working? The focus of Slack. I'm going to write about this a little bit more, but I've been thinking about the term Slack, cutting ourselves some slack. That's important, especially in the midst of a crisis. So some of the work that I've been doing with clients has been that they really haven't cut themselves some slack. They're sometimes very hard on themselves. There may be very hard IG family on their partners, if you will. Maybe we should cut each other some slack. So think about what the Slack, the acronym stands for. S stands for how are you showing up? Are you showing up in a way that allows you to be available to the other person? Do you feel like that they're your person and you're their person so that you can be available to one another, even emotionally, right? Sometimes people just need the other person to listen. This feels crappy. And, I'm afraid or I'm worried. How are you showing up? That's what the S stands for. The L stands for leadership. Are you leading the charge in this pandemic? Are not necessarily in the larger community, although you could be doing that too, like Dr. Ayla Stanford leading the charge with the Black doctors doing testing, but you could also lead the charge in your home family, restructure, reset. Okay, we didn't do the first month well, we're going to do the second month really, really well. How are you being a leader? Then the A, are you appreciating what you've accomplished thus far? This is the reset. You can go back and look at what have you appreciated and then how are you moving forward? The C, being committed. Nobody needs to be in any kind of crisis and not be committed to the process. It also means being committed to the long haul, right? The long haul is that if this is a marathon and not a sprint, how are you going to move forward and stay the course so that you don't deviate from the plan? And lastly, K, SLACK. K stands for kind. In the process of refocusing your energy, are you kind? Are you kind to yourself? Are you kind to others? Are you kind to your partner? Are you kind to your kids? All of those things will help you to refocus the energy and set your positive intentions for doing it better. Babe?
Show some IG love here. Allison she says, each day is different. One day I feel inspired, another day sorrow, because even with family in the house, there's a level of loneliness.
Oh, okay. Let me just recap that for just so that they can hear. So Allison says that it's an ebb and flow, and you all might feel that way too. That one day you're feeling good, and then the other day is a little bit of a roller coaster and some sadness because of what we're in. That's real. And so I applaud Allison for sharing her authenticity in that, because not every day is going to be a great day, and we need to go on and acknowledge that and utilize the support systems that we have when we have bad days. Yes, babe.
Kim, she's Sweet Pea Kim. She says, how do you practice refocusing as a couple /family? especially if it feels like both parties are experiencing this moment differently.
Ooh, that's a good one. And that's Sweet Pea Kim. Okay, so Kim says, like, if people within the household are experiencing this differently, I deal quite a bit with that in my practice where everybody's not on board. And then think about that. Growth is a process, and it takes a while. It's a moving target, if you will. And so everybody may not arrive at the same place, Sweet Pea, at the same time, if you will. So you sort of reset your expectations with the people within the household. Now, what we can't do is have the young people or the older people going out. So we have to posit for ourselves that we may have to have some pretty courageous conversations frequently and often, because in your head, you might feel like we had this conversation. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. And then, 4 weeks in, other people are like, I'm done. I'm out. I've heard that with families. So the prayer, the sort of resetting your intentions, really recalibrating, within yourself can be really helpful. And then again, engaging in a full conversation, a courageous conversation with the folks in your house. And then she's also talking, I believe, about what if you're just feeling blue because you're doing all the right things, but you just want to be out, or you want your old life back. And the other person is not able to be there with you. Maybe emotionally, they grew up in a family where it's like, you just deal with it and just stop complaining about it. So what I'm saying to people sometimes is access the people that can be aligned with where you're at, not aligned with doing things like going out unprotected, but you may need to utilize through these social media platforms or Face Chat or Google Duo, other people that can at least hear you. Listening goes a long way. Sometimes just the ministry of presence, because quite frankly, there are times when we can't do anything for the person. We can't change the circumstances. We don't have enough power, but we can say, hey, I can listen to you. And then just being patient. Be patient with the process, because this is a difficult process for all of us. And as we move in, I would also move through this. I would also say, celebrate your wins. If you have small moments of breakthrough with the people that you're in the house where you've actually done something that you said you were going to do, or you were available to each other, celebrate those wins. Give people that positive reinforcement that we can do this. That's really, really important. Deborah says, thanks for sharing Slack with us to do our work. You're welcome, Deborah. That's key, doing the work. None of us gets out of this without doing the work. What is the work? The work is this internal work. It's a self-inventory. It's self-evaluation. It's self-exploration. Inventory, evaluation, exploration. Inventory, where am I at? Evaluation, how am I doing? Exploration, how could I do better? How could I be better? What is it that I'm offering, both to the people in my immediate community and then on the outside? There's a lot that we actually can do to retool ourselves. I ask people like, well, one, how are you showing up? But also, what do you think you want to be like when we get to the other side? And I say very intentionally, when we get to the other side, not if we get to the other side, because that's about reframing your focus in your own mind. If you think that you're not getting to the other side, then there's a probability that you don't. But if you believe that you will, there's a high probability that that will actually come to fruition. But you have to do the right thing. You have to do the things that are going to keep you healthy and keep your family safe, and then move through it with an understanding that you're going to be so much healthier on the other side of this if you do the work, as Deborah says. And the work may be a little bit different for each person in your household, for you, for other people. So being patient. That leads us to sort of these intentions, your positive thoughts versus negative thoughts, and being intentional about what even your day is going to look like, and taking yourself back. I have people do an exercise where I have them write the negative thoughts on a piece of paper and then write positive thoughts or positive affirmations as a thought substitution. It's basically cognitive therapy, right? There's part of the the work that we learn, or theory, if you will. And so when you write those positive thoughts, then those positive thoughts become a part of your toolbox. You can even take them and write those positive thoughts on little stickies or a little 3x5 card, and then make a determination every single day to pull one from your toolbox and use that as your anchor to remind yourself of the intention of what it is that you have set for yourself on that particular day. Shelley says, hey, Arj, to combat my feeling of helplessness with some of the country's leadership, I stay aware of voting deadlines and remind my circle as well. Elijah Cummings' 7th District deadline for absentee ballot is today. PA is less than a month. Thank you for reminding us. Actually, my good friend Lucy had reminded us of that too. So all next week, we're going to every single day be pushing that in PA to remind people to do the absentee ballot voting, so that when you can't get out, you can still vote. Morgan's already done it, I believe. I need to still do it. I have to do it for my dad. So we'll be reminding people. And that's also, I think, a reframe, thinking about what can we do? How can we remind each other? How can we support each other? We definitely have to vote. If we don't know now, in the midst of this pandemic, and based on what's happened, in particular in our Black and Brown communities, where the disproportionate number of people have gotten sick and not been able to get the health care that they needed and that they deserved. If we don't know now that we need to vote, then I don't even know what to say. And I'm asking people, and as Shelley has said, my beautiful cousin Shelley has said, shift your energy, shift your energy. It's okay to experience and label that I'm angry about something or I'm upset about something. Absolutely, don't hide from that. But then once you have been able to label it, then ask yourself, well, what am I going to do with this anger? How am I going to channel it in a way that helps, not hurts? Morgan and I always say in Faith Inc., are you helping to harm or healing the hurt? And there are many, many things that all of us can do to help, not hurt. And so leveling up on education of what we can do, and then reaching out, as I say, reach out to the people that you think don't know. Reach out to your senior population. Just sending them a positive message can be helpful in terms of channeling energy. And what we actually learn is when we're giving out positive energy, guess what? Something phenomenal happens. We actually receive more than what we gave when we're channeling that positive energy, because what happens is it reverberates the atmosphere. Those vibrations go out and they go in, and we start feeling better. Jerry says, love to keep up the good work. Love this. Keep up the good work in educating folks. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Yeah, Jerry Martin. I know Jerry Martin from Drexel. Thank you so much. I mean, we're looking forward actually to doing some work with Drexel. And I don't know, when's the date, Morgan, that we're doing it?
I think it's May 13th, maybe. We're not sure.
Okay.
But we're going to come up with the act. We're going to confirm that soon.
Okay, so you guys will hear more from that. We're actually leveling up, doing quite a few webinars, we're going to be preparing for our new masterclass. We're doing webinars. This is the age right now where we are doing our education in all different areas in this virtual space. And I actually like it, right? To be honest with you, because I think that it allows us in real time to reach out to people and to give to people and to have them give to us. So we're feeding, we're pouring in, we're pouring out, and we're having real time reciprocal relationships that help us versus hurt us. The last thing I would say is that, recapping our goals, the goals that we set for ourselves, asking yourselves, and I would love to hear from you guys, what did you set for yourself in the beginning? Did you set goals for yourself in the beginning of this pandemic, or were you just being reactive? Were you just reacting to all of the information and then not really kind of sitting down and thinking about what you needed to do for yourself? If you were doing that, that wasn't necessarily healthy for you. But now you can learn from those experiences 4 weeks ago, if you will. And next week, we're moving into our 6th week in quarantine. Take those goals that you set and that you didn't accomplish, create some action steps so that they're not just dreams that won't ever come to fruition, and double down on making it happen. We can do this. We can reset the atmosphere, reset our lives, and move forward. So we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors. We're going to come right back. We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to love on each other as we move into our day. Thanks. Stay with us.
Are you sometimes feeling out of sync and you don't know why?
IG family, hopefully you're still with. Ballots. If you do the early voting ballots, that's going to help you. So we're back, and that's pretty much the what I want to leave folks with. Dominique says, I set some goals, but I got off track for a while, had a rough time, but I'm back. So now I'm back to working on those goals. Excellent, excellent. So listen, the goal here, and we've had to stay diligent, is to give you information and to receive information in our quarantine talks. This is a place, I believe, that is a safe space. Sometimes we need predictability, structure, and consistency that creates safety and security. And then we move forward with a level of confidence. So our goal is to give and receive information on this platform, the Courageous Conversations Connect space, where we have our quarantine talks every single day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. We'll meet you back here on Monday morning, but throughout the weekend, look for something. Like we may be on we may be the YouTube page. Yeah. So go to the YouTube page, tell your friends to go to the YouTube page, subscribe, set your notifications. We're going to be putting more content, notification bell. It's not bell. I set your notification bell so that you can get more information from us. That is our prayer. That is our hope. We hope that this information, Morgan and I, has been really a blessing to your spirit and your mind, body, and soul. And so have a blessed day. It's a beautiful Friday. We got some liquid sunshine out there in Philadelphia, and we'll see you again. We'll see you on Monday. Have a beautiful day on purpose, from our heart to yours.